Good morning, everyone. Welcome back to Peaches' Kitchen. How are you all doing today? I'm going to show you how I make my Easter cake. What I'm going to do now is just to grate some lemon rind. And as you can see, I'm just using the finer part of the grater. I'm not going to use any of the white bits because that's a bit bitter. So I'm just using the rind, which is the yellow bit, on the lemon. Okay. Now I'm going to put my eggs into my bowl. As usual, I'm just going to take out any bits that's in there, including the white bits in the egg, which we call the eye. If you looked at my Christmas cake, from what I've done, you will notice that whenever I'm baking a cake, I always take what we call the eye out, because that's the way I was taught. Now I'm just mixing up the egg. Okay, mixing it with the lemon. Since I'm just doing this, I'm just following the recipe on the box, and all I'm doing is just jazzing it up a bit. Okay, just put my twist on it. Okay, now I'm measuring the oil. I'm using vegetable oil, but you can use whichever oil you prefer. And I'm using water instead of milk. So whatever your preference is, just go ahead and use that. So now I'm just mixing all these liquid ingredients up. And I'm going to use just half of lemon. The recipe doesn't call for this, but as I said, that's what I like to use when I'm using these cakes. And I use the powdered mix. I'm just putting a tablespoon. I use the powdered mix just for quickness, so everything is already there, so no need to change anything when you're baking. And I'm going to put some liquid, just roughly a teaspoon of vanilla paste. You can use liquid if you prefer. Just about, say, a quarter spoon of cinnamon powder. And just give that another mix. Just grating some nutmeg, and again about roughly quarter teaspoon. Okay, now that we've done all that, now we're going to use our vanilla mix, cake mix. And just pour this, in. And thoroughly give it a good mix. Just keep mixing until you don't see any more of the cake mixture in the bowl. And because it's Easter, I've decided I'm going to use some yellow cake mix. We'll see what it comes out like once it's baked. So I'll do this a little bit at a time until I get the yellow color that I'm looking for. A little bit too pale, so I've dropped a little bit more. Okay, and that's the color that I like, rich yellow. Once it's baked, we'll see what it looks like. Okay, so I'm happy with that. Decided to put a little bit more because I thought, oh, come on, it's Easter. Let's get it a little bit more yellowy. Okay. So that's about roughly 3 drops. Okay. And this is my prepare tin that I prepared beforehand. Okay, so I'm just pouring that in, making sure I get every last drop out. Gorgeous yellow color. Delish. Okay, so now I'm just tapping it to make sure that there's no air bubbles in the bottom. I'm going to put it in the oven. I've decided to put it in the middle part of the oven at gas mark about 1. Okay, it wouldn't go in, so I thought, okay, let's move this. So I'm just moving the tray up so I can get the cake in. Okay. This is after about an hour. The cake is cooked. Okay, what I've decided I'm going to do, I'm just going to put some yellow icing on the top. So just put a little bit of cornstarch on your work surface or your mat. As you've noticed, I just use a pre-prepared yellow icing. Just giving that a good knead to make sure it is easier to work with. It's because it's a little bit tough, so just make sure you give it a good knead. I think I've stopped because my daughter was saying something to me. Can't remember what she was saying, but she was saying something to me, so I stopped there and was answering her. Okay. I'm just putting it in a plastic bag so it doesn't dry out. And here I'm just gonna warm up some apricot jam. I was just telling my daughter that I'm just gonna put it in the microwave just to warm that up. Once that was done, put a little bit on the board so that the cake will not slip off. Just put it in the middle, put some jam on it because it wasn't sticking. Okay, just put it in the middle. That's fine. Now I'm just going to put the icing in. Sorry, not the icing. Okay, now I'm going to put the jam where I want to put the icing. So I'm just giving that a little brush. Just add a little bit more corn flour so that the icing doesn't stick on the mat, or if you're using the work surface. And I'm just using my plate just to cut out a round shape to put on top of the cake. I'm only going to decorate just the top. I'm not going to put any icing on the sides. Just using a knife just to lift it. Here, I've just decided I'm going to use some baby Easter eggs just to put on the top. And here I'm going to put a little chocolate chip on the cake. Okay. And that's it. That's my Easter cake. Happy Easter, everyone. Have a good one. And I'll catch you on the next one. Take care now. Bye. God bless.